Welcome to IMG Insights, our video series that explores topics within multifamily real estate investing. Our topic today covers what it means to vertically integrate property management into an investment sponsor's scope of services. It's an important business decision for real estate operators and one that we've evaluated over the years. Today, we're talking with Investors Management Group founder and CEO Neil Schimmel and principal co-president and COO Karlin Conklin. I'm Dave Mikkelsen, Director of Investor Relations, and I'll be moderating the conversation. Neil and Karlin have deep expertise in multifamily operations and many years working with both asset managers and property managers. Let's kick off the conversation by defining the two management functions and how those scopes fit together. So first, with Neil, what are the key differences between asset management and property management, and what is IMG's experience with those functions?
Thanks, Dave. IMG has been very experienced in the uh, asset management and property management areas for many, many years. It's part of our business.
Mhm.
From the property management perspective, I'd like to address it that way. Property management is about being on site. It's about knowing your tenants, a leasing office, property manager, but it's also about your maintenance supervisor, your work orders, and taking care of the people's needs at the property level. With that, the property management company has people that are on site, they're in the market, they have resources within the cities that they serve. And with that, from a property management company's perspective, it is those resources and those management skills at the property level and the tenant experience which they are responsible for. As a property management company looks toward ownership, many times there will not be an individual owner, but an asset manager, a person that is actually directing the property on behalf of the owners. And that is the go-to person at IMG that we have, the asset manager that is really evaluating the property manager's performance at the property level. In addition to the property level operations, a property management company has to have its own culture. It has to have a back office. It has to have the support for the people at the property. So what you see at the property is only what you see. And so the back office is a material part which an asset management firm needs to be able to evaluate. And Karlin, maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. That was a great discussion about property management. The asset management is an oversight function, and we have been experts in that function for over a decade. And the goal with asset management is to have the business plan and work that business plan from acquisition through the process of going through a disposition. Now, with that said, asset management is also pragmatic. It also understands cycles, whereas property managers are just, they're in the throes of the day-to-day battle, right? There could have been a fire. There could have been, employees that quit. There could be all sorts of things at the property, and they're on the day-to-day, they're in the weeds. But asset management must stay ahead of that. Uh, Cycles in particular, back in 2008 and 9, the Great Recession, that was almost a depression. It took asset management to drive the focus to get many properties out of that. Just recently, for all of us, we've lived through 2020, 2021 with COVID. After COVID, it became this huge inflationary time where rents were going up two, three, $400 a month just because everybody was so exuberant. And then the Fed hits us. We have an absolute market correction. And if you are in the weeds at the property, you don't necessarily see that, versus the asset manager who is in charge is looking at the financial well-being of the property. Where are the loans? What can we do? How do we look at the expenses if we're trying to go into a refinance or a sale? All of those things are absolutely essential. And that function is an oversight function. And that's probably the biggest difference between asset management and property management is the oversight versus being pragmatic and running the property on a day-to-day basis. We, with the management companies that work for us, we oftentimes will hear, well, you're telling me something different today than you told me last year. Well, of course, the world is very different today than it was last year, but they don't see it. But we do see it as asset managers, and we're trying to be looking to the future. They're looking at the today, and that alignment between those two functions is what's absolutely essential for the growth and the value of any one of these properties and our investments.
Well, thank
Karlin, I believe your insight is really critical for people to understand that an asset management company is really looking at the high-end finance
Mhm.
associated with the properties.
Right.
Conversely, the property management company is dealing with the day-to-day, as you said,
Mhm.
um, concessions, bad debt, bad traffic, rising rents, great traffic, uh, um, uh, lack of inventory.
Mhm.
The feedback that is given from the property management company to an involved asset management company is critical in balancing the returns to the investors and the resident experience.
Right.
And that synergy, in the absence of having a strong one, will really not get an outcome that we are all looking for our investors.
Correct.
Well, thank you, Neil and Carlin, for sharing your real estate experience and those great explanations of the roles. This concludes our presentation for this segment. Tune into our website for more IMG Insights episodes on demand.